Good evening. This is the Elliott wave update for the NASDAQ 100 and the S&P 500 for Thursday, January the 25th, 2024. Market did pretty much follow through on current expectations, and so I'm going to pick it up here with the NASDAQ, and I'm going to stick with the hourly chart. Just a very quick recap. We remain in a minor fifth wave up. And that minor fifth wave is going to complete an intermediate C wave and a primary B wave. So we're getting close to putting the cap on what I have been counting since October of 2022, and that is a primary B wave up. So I think we're getting close to its completion point, and we'll see. Because again, with a minute fifth wave up, that minute fifth wave can just explode and move much higher. And for example, here in the NASDAQ, as we look for a possibility that we're going to get a completion point for this minute fourth wave, and that might come in around 17,400, it could then turn and rally 600 or 700 points and end up above 18,000. So again, we got a lot of possibilities still left, and we still got a lot of upside in terms of territory to cover. So let's begin. Again, NASDAQ, 1 hour chart. We're in that final stretch, that minor fifth wave up. It's going to consist of 5 waves of minute degree. We have minute 1, 2, and 3 complete, as I have labeled here on the chart. That puts us in that minute wave 4, and it's pretty much where I'm picking up now from where I left off last night, and that we had the possibility that we only did an A wave, we were going to do a B wave, and then we'd come down in a C wave, and that pretty much is exactly what is going on right now. Now, having said that, we did come down this afternoon, put in a new low below that wave A low, which we did yesterday. So we had the potential that minute wave 4 going to come in not so deep, going to come in at 0.236 versus coming in at 0.382. And then, came down, touched, I believe that low was 42. So it came within $6. As we say, close enough for government work, and then started to rally again. Now, what has happened since then? Well, we had Intel's earnings come out. We had, which is now down $4. We had KLA, so Clack's earnings come out, and that stock, I believe, is down 50. Then we had L3 Harris, which is all these tech stocks that I don't think are necessarily missing in terms like Tesla did yesterday. But again, they're just being sold. In any case, it puts a little bit more push that we are likely to get the balance, or at least start on getting this balance of this C wave in. Now, let me drop this down to, let me drop down to the 15-minute chart and open this up here. So what we got really, the best I'm going to come up with is this is 1 of C, 2 of C, and now we're in 3 of C, which could bring us here, 4 of C, 5 of C. So we can get it all done in one day, one nice big boom, titty boom, and then we're down here. So where are these projections? Well, I think my first place I'm going to start, I'm going to add now, right? Because my fibs are 236, 17,536. That I think just completed leg 1, right? AB wave 1 of the C. So then next on a fib basis, most common for a fourth wave, and that's what we're in, a minute 4, is 17,377. Now, taking this back up quickly to the hourly chart, what we also look for is that the fourth wave, say minute 4, was going to find its terminus, its endpoint within the wave pattern, or within the wave fourth wave of 1 lesser degree, and that's right here. So that's why we have 70,409. So that's where we're looking. 17,409 down to 17,377. And that all fits. Now back down to that 15-minute chart, and let's open it up. So This could be 1, 2, 3. This could be a 4, but I don't think so because it starts to come back up and overlap. So I'm going to leave this as 1 of C, 2 of C, and we really do start to drop. Yeah, I see what they're doing. They're kind of starting to push it back up again. This is just the way the markets are, and other additional earnings reports are continuing to come out as I'm making this update. So everything gets calculated in. Now, once that's in, I'm still looking for, again, got to that hourly chart. I'm still looking for this. This would be minute 4. I'm looking for a minute wave 5. Once I do get the end point for the wave 4, I will be able to run my last fibs, which are going to be how we compare wave 1 or 5 to 1. So minute 5 would be compared to minute wave 1. So I use minute wave 1 to give me those extensions that are going to show me what are the probabilities or capabilities of a minute 5th wave. And once I get that 4th wave, I'll be able to put them in. But we're not that far from 18,000. So let me just, for example, put this in, and I should already be set up. So let me just go ahead and do that. Up here, and here is wave 1. And let's just say we do get down to that 3 right here, about 371.3, right? 100%. Look where we are, 18,095. So this is what I'm talking about. We do go right into what have we been talking about for like the last couple of weeks? The potential, the solid potential that this whole primary B wave is going to end up within the Fibonacci levels that equate to an irregular B wave. So it remains that it's an irregular B wave and that we're still in a correction off of the all-time highs, but yet we're making additional new highs. And all I want to talk about here just very quickly is that Elliott told us about these. He told us about these situations where, like a 4th wave, in this particular case, will go to a new all-time high. And it does it in a B wave. The Dow major level, excuse me, the Dow did it in 2008. The Dow went to a new all-time high above 14,000 and then just rolled over in the greatest financial collapse. And I mean, this is how this thing got booked. The greatest financial collapse we've ever seen. We saw Bear Stearns go out of business. We saw Lehman Brothers go out of business. We saw several banks just get taken over, receivership. We saw massive, massive, massive damage being done to the markets, right? Just prior to all that, the Dow hit an all-time high. The S&P was sitting at 11. I'd have to go back and look. I want to say 11,000. We know that's not right. But it was sitting up towards its highs at the time. So while we watch all these things happen, is it really so out of the blue or out of the ordinary that we see both the S&P and the NASDAQ, the Dow just going to a new all-time high? It's sitting up, what, 37, 38,000? So again, that I've not actually done a continuation of analysis on the Dow, but I'm going to say that it's also another irregular, but it's not doing it by itself now. We've got everybody all kind of doing that same thing and going up into that direction. So when we're interpreting this, Elliott told us about how all-time highs most often are doubly retraced or doubly corrected. So here we go. Wave A was the first correction of that all-time high that we saw in 2022. Then we get the B wave, creates a new high. We come back down, correcting again the existing previous high. So we're correcting twice. It was a strange statement when he was making it, and it took me a long time to figure out, what are you talking about, Elliott? But that's basically, in my opinion, what he was saying. So we're going to get up there. And now we're showing just some basic fibs that get us up to 18,095. 1.236, which is common, is 18,056. If we go full bore, we're going to get up closer to the 382, which is at 18,000. Let me just go 18,860. 1.618 is 18,535, let's say. So we have levels. And if they go full bore, don't forget next week, we have Microsoft, we have AMAT, we've got Apple, we've got Google, we've got, et cetera, Meta, all of them. And they're pushing everything out. And then we have to wait until the 21st of February before we see NVIDIA. So, I mean, it's just like, yeah, there still can be a lot to be said and done. But right now, for tomorrow, I'm going to be looking for that this fourth wave get complete. And it would be perfect if it got down to that 382. We will see what it does. 17,409. I mean, we got a nice decline today. Maybe we get another one that should put that finishing move in and then get us all lined up to begin our fifth wave. Now, this one I got to take off because we don't know yet. So I'm not leaving that on there. Okay, so that's the NASDAQ. All the moving averages, everything remains the same. We're still looking good for that particular thing. Now, except one thing I'm going to do a little double check on. See? We close with a red bar on the daily, which gives a little bit more push that we will go down tomorrow and at least finish this. Didn't happen here, kind of almost the same type of a bar, but we were still in an uppie. We're in an uptrend then. Now we're kind of in a little bit of a downtrend just to finish a fourth wave. So we'll see. We definitely will see. Now, going over to the S&P. S&P pretty much the same deal, except here did not. In fact, it closed pretty positively. So it's a little bit different in the S&P. Let's take a look at that hourly chart and see what it did. Same deal though, 1, 2, and 3. So we have A, B, C, B, or we still have a little bit more to go, or A, B, this would be failures in here. So again, not really coming off as hard as the NASDAQ is right now. Even though Intel's in here, I think KLA's in here. And there's a lot of other stocks that are in there. So again, we're going to have to wait and see because it's going to have to be a little bit. And also just how deep this did not come down as far in the NASDAQ. We actually came back down and put in a new low below what we did yesterday. S&P did not. So it's a little bit more confusing and up in the air for the S&P right now. My expectation, though, would be, okay, we put in a new low below 48.89. How far down, a little bit too soon, can't really say. But we can throw some, and yeah, I can put it there, just for an early estimate. 100%, if this was A and that's B and we're going to do a C wave down, 100% is 48.82. We're not that far below 48.89. Then we can put a 4 on it and we run in a fifth wave. That, I'm taking this off because I don't know. We may go up and equal, and then it's a big flat, and then all we're going to do is come back to 48.89. So, or we're going now. Again, I don't suspect because the S&P and the NASDAQ usually go hand in hand. They're pretty tight and keeping it all grouped together here. But we'd be looking for Microsoft, NVIDIA, all of those to kind of start to relax a little bit and come down off these highs. Netflix, 2 days in a row. Just like, go, keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. And so that the buyers kind of walk away. Now, tomorrow being a Friday, it is an expiration. all of the underlying have Friday options that are going to expire, the weeklies. So we got that going on. And then I'm sure we'll have a lot to say about where things are going to get pinned. So same deal. Everything's still looking good. We get this 4 in, we get the 5 now, and the S&P. It's going to be, I'm going to say at least above 5,000, right? If I got to pull this open, let me just double check. Here we go. And again, this is just a guesstimate here, folks. But I just want to show if we all get only back to 48.89, oh, look at that. 100, which is equality, is above 5,000. So we are already in new high territory, new all-time high. But 1.236 is 5,100. Can it get up there? Well, yeah, it can, because look at the 1.618, 5,108. The actual 1.236 is 5,116, 1.618. Here, in terms of where we're measuring out for the minute wave 5, is 5,108. That's 1.618. So we got the numbers, and everything's kind of on track. Full bore, we can go. We definitely can go. Minor 5, we got them. The fibs do support if we get what I call a full bore blow up. And that would come on the heels of a lot of the Mag 5, the Mag 7, whatever they're calling it these days, putting in some stellar earnings reports. So I'm kind of going to leave it there because there's not a whole lot that I can be adding. Let me just see what we got in terms of economic numbers tomorrow. We have personal income and spending, and guess what? We got the almighty PCE Index. And so they're looking for small increases there. Core PCE, 0.2% versus 0.1 previous. And and those are all 8:30 a.m. Personal income, personal spending, PCE, core, blah, blah, all that good stuff. And 10 a.m. we have pending home sales. So, but the big deal will come pre-market. So we might get all this done pre-market. It might even happen, a lot of it, Globex will get us down into where we need to be. These numbers drive the thing home, and then we start to rally again, which is so typical of our market. The market is just like, no, we're never going to go down. We're never going down again. And their goal is to just march on forward. And so that's kind of what I expect. But I'd like it to be just a little bit more as it was today. The trading was there's a little bit cleaner. Still, early start was a lot of fits and starts, and even within the 1 minute, within the 5 minute, it kind of just flipped itself around pretty quickly. But enough to at least not make it such a strange day as it was on Wednesday and Tuesday. They were more difficult days. Okay, so I am going to finish up there. And the next, I will see what happens on Friday and how that all relates to our bigger picture as to whether I will actually try to get a big picture update in over the weekend. But the next Elliott wave update will, if I get a big picture update in on Saturday, then the Elliott wave update would be deferred until Monday, unless something really bizarre happens in Globex on Sunday. So we're going to leave it kind of like that. I'm going to try to get a big picture update in on Saturday, and then we have until we can see what's going to happen in Globex on Sunday, and then we have Monday. All right. Everybody, please have a great trading day tomorrow, and we'll see you next time around.